On the sidelines of the COP29, we're currently at Tajikistan Pavilion. Besides me is Mr. González. Before we get into our questions, I would like to, Mr. González, introduce yourself, please.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Henry González. I'm the Chief Investment Officer of the Green Climate Fund, which is the largest multilateral climate fund, and we serve the COP and the Paris Agreement.
Great, thank you so much. For the questions, as the countries of like Asian countries are working to decarbonize energy for intensive sectors. Now, what guidance does Asian countries? Most certainly, we have to be honest at first that Asian countries are the third world countries that are currently using fossil fuels and etc. So in order to transition into green energy, what certain, initiatives has to be empowered in order to transition into green energy?
Sure. That's a great question, and I believe we need to always aim to have a just transition as we go through this. First, I believe we need to have the right enabling environment. So we really need to have the right policies in place that supports this process, because there would be areas that would require more engagement than others. The Green Climate Fund has a window that we call readiness and project support, where countries are able to assess and we can support the enabling environment in order to create the NDCs, the NAPs, or support sectorial transitions as needed. Afterwards, we also believe that there might be subsectors within the different areas that we serve that will require de-risking. And in order for us to provide that de-risking, we can provide grants, we can provide first loss capital, and we can provide also a suite of financial products that hopefully will support. We've already been doing this. GCF has a large experience of supporting the energy transition, and we have somehow come to successful stories. The Asia Pacific area has about 35% of the $16 billion that the GCF has committed. So it is our second largest exposure after Africa, and we have a pipeline that is extremely ambitious in the decarbonization, but also in the adaptation.
Just in addition to your remarks, lastly, I would like to ask you that about, as a host of Azerbaijan, has been doing lots of things for the last 6 or 7 months, even prior to the calendar year. Just your final remarks about Azerbaijan's activity on hosting COP29.
So we're very pleased that this year we approved the first project with Azerbaijan, and it was a project on climate services and early warning systems. While Azerbaijan is a middle-income country and it has an oil industry, we need to also understand that there are areas in the country that requires resources for adaptation. So while the area also of transition in Azerbaijan needs to be taken into account, we also need to think about what could be the impact that disasters or different challenges of climate is having on people. So we can never forget that everything that we do has to deal with how livelihoods of people are affected. So there are opportunities to work with countries like Azerbaijan in different areas like education, like health, like water and sanitation. So there are opportunities to enhance, and we work. We work with all the non-Annex 1 countries of the UNFCCC. So Azerbaijan is one of them, and I believe they would like to step up their leadership in hopefully going towards this transition, in leading with their national policies, but also we hope that this finance COP, as we call it, will remain a good legacy of Azerbaijan in this process.
Thank you so much for the interview, for giving your time. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.